Hello, I'm Cindy with Wisconsin Voices for Recovery, and this is Speak Out on Stigma. Today we'll be hearing from Linda, LGBTQ plus AODA advocate and a person in recovery from the Outreach LGBTQ plus Community Center. Hi, Linda, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Cindy, for inviting me.
Good. How does stigma harm people seeking or in recovery?
From my personal experience, including as a person in recovery, many of us have experienced trauma in our past. Unfortunately, one of the ways that we cope is we use alcohol, substances, and or harming behaviors as a way of coping. Typically, we may numb ourselves out with that, with those various choices. And even though they're not healthy choices, many of us, because of the age in which we were harmed or experienced trauma, they are the things that we lean upon to cope with what we're struggling with. Because they're harming behaviors, um, people who don't know our past, don't know us personally, will often stigmatize us. They will often make judgments about, I don't understand why that person just doesn't stop drinking. I don't understand why that person is taking drugs. I don't understand, and fill in the blank. And those are very stigmatizing questions and judgments that will often prevent people, whether it's they're hearing it from family members, coworkers, people they live with, romantic partners, um, who will make judgments that are simplistic, but more harming. They're stigmatizing. And when people hear stigmatizing comments like that, they'll often, because they frequently come from shame-based environments, will often internalize that shame and that stigma. And rather than seeking help, which often loved ones or people who care about them hope they would do, they return to the coping mechanisms which are harming.
So it creates a barrier to healing.
It does. And one of the things that in the work that I do as a peer specialist who support people in recovery, drawing from my own lived experience, is I encourage people to, first of all, listen. So when somebody is sharing with you that they're struggling, rather than automatically giving advice or suggesting what they do, listen to what they're struggling with, ask them what kind of help they might want, but be really careful in how you answer that question. Because often those of us who are not struggling with substances or alcohol or harming behaviors, we don't understand how that kind of cycle works.
Absolutely. So holding the space for that person and providing that support.
Yep, absolutely.
hmm And what would you want people to know and remember about those who are seeking or in recovery?
Often, like many things in life, I'm going to use the metaphor of a childhood game, Captain May I, where we take two steps forward and one step back. And so often people will, um, in their effort to recover, may try to find ways that they can minimize or reduce the harming behaviors, whether that means drinking less, drinking something different than what their normal choice would be, maybe switching drug use, maybe not doing one harming behavior, maybe substituting with another harming behavior. So on the surface, it may look like they're not making progress, but most people in recovery do a lot of experimental work as they're seeking support, talking to other people in recovery, getting help, whether it be a treatment center, whether it be peer support groups, recovery meetings like 12-step meetings. Uh, it may not appear that they're making the progress, but often they're experimenting with the things that might work for them. And harm reduction is a philosophy that has really gained a lot of popularity, although it's been around for generations. Harm reduction was first introduced by marginalized communities who weren't getting the help they needed because of stigmatizing and shaming behaviors by some caregivers and people of the mainstream provider community. So I think to answer the question, the most important thing to remember is that everyone's pathway to recovery may look different. And what most people will need, though, is support and someone who'll help strategize with them on what steps can we take to reduce the harm that alcohol or drugs are doing to you, and how can I support you in that. Um, and when people feel listened to, when people feel supported, they're more open to taking those suggestions rather than retreating and feeling like they're being shamed.
Thank you so much for that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing I'd like to add is to also for family members and loved ones of people who are struggling is um, try to get help for yourself too, because often um, we care for people and yet we're suffering too. And there are programs to help people, whether it be Al-Anon in regarding to alcoholism, or families of Narcotics Anonymous, other programs that can help you get help for yourself so that you're more able to support the person that you love.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Linda, for sharing your views on stigma. And
Yep.
thank you to our viewers for watching. Speak Out on Stigma is a forum to raise awareness about the harmful impact of stigma on those in and seeking recovery. Recovery is for everyone. Together, we can eliminate stigma. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Cindy.